Hello and welcome to episode 12 of my route to Bergen City Marathon. Basically what I'm doing is following a training plan devised by chatgpt with my input, but it's heavily influenced by Lee Grantham and all of his videos that we can see on YouTube, and just following his philosophy and running structure. I absolutely love that system. I've been implementing that in this chatgpt training plan for this marathon block. The marathon is actually just under 2 weeks now, so I'm actually doing my last long run. I was planning to do a 2-week taper, so we are going to do my last long run today. So that is going to be 32k, but I'm going to implement 75 minutes of marathon pace, effort, pulse, like heartbeat in that, to see how we are. And I thought, what better way to do it than go and do it on the course. So I'm just walking my way through to Bergen City Centre now. Parked in the bus station behind me. So I'm going off to basically the Bergen area, where is the start of the marathon in under 2 weeks' time. And I'm just going to run the course 1.5 times. I know where it's going to spit me out at 32k, and that's quite close back there to where I parked. So it'd just be a short walk back from there. So I'm going to get like 1.5 sections of the course done. So twice I'll go up the hilly mountain section. So that'll be good to kind of see how the heart rate does on there as well. And because this is a completely different new way of training for me. So yeah, I've run the course so many times. I've done the marathon 4 times, so I know it, but it still gets me. And like I said, this training block is to kind of get me a good comfortable, in a sense, because the marathon is never comfortable, but be round happy, and actually kind of say, you know what, you did the work, you couldn't do no more. And instead of just kind of being a little bit disgruntled with the effort, like, you know what I mean? And I should have done better in London last year. Should have done better in all my marathons. So we'll see. Basically, done 2 other runs since the Wednesday. It was a recovery treadmill run up there. Just normal, standard procedure. Speed 8.3 now on there. My heart rate is adjusting. That basically I'm getting fitter, and I can hold quicker paces at lower heart rate, which just proves that we've all been running all our runs too wrong. Fit and ready to go again to do this hour session yesterday on the Saturday. Again, I kept to the same course, just to kind of like route where I've been running before, just to kind of have that kind of way I can do the data and check and see how it's going. And again, it's less effort going in for the same time, so again it shows improvement. So long runs are always a little bit different, and then, like I say, I'm going to do this long run in the city centre and on the course, so that gives me good feedback from the last time I did some Bergen City Marathon course training, and will be the last time I actually do it before race day. So then that will give me a chance to start prepping up the actual race day efforts and what we're going to look to achieve during that section. So this is an exciting run, challenging. 32k is not an easy run. I don't know if I kind of left it too late. Kind of regret a little bit that I'm not tapering yet, but we'll do that afterwards. Yeah, and we'll see how it all goes. But yeah, I'm nearly going to be at the start line, so I'm just going to take a quick walk out, and then I'll catch you guys a little bit later. There we go. It says 32.77. kilometers, but I went by the marker that they normally put out on the actual course for the 32k mark. So obviously went on a little bit extra to get to that marker. Plus the GPS might be a little bit out or whatever. So yeah, just under 3.5 hours. So nicely in my limit. And that 6:24 per kilometre pace for the whole run. But bearing in mind a lot of it is normal, like trying to be easy pace and going up bloody mountains. So yeah, I mean we're 153 beats per minute average. Can't really take that into account so much because it's not all the way thing. I expect my race to be higher than that because I'll be pushing a bit more and for longer really. Although I know that ChatGPT won't be happy, I don't think, because my averages were higher. I mean, I was over a lot. I just don't know if we can do a heart rate thing on these calls. It's just unbelievable. So it's something to go back and type in and have a look, but that's a successful run. I'm not going to deny that. Fueled correctly as well. I know where the water stops are on the course, so I only took drinks from my hydration vest at those points, and also at those points I took a salt stick, so that's my electrolytes fixed for the course as well. So really kind of happy with that. Just kind of heading back now to where I parked the car. Then like I say, I'll go through ChatGPT stuff. I'm going to get home fixed up, but yeah, I mean 32.7 on the watch. I could do more. So, I'm not, again, I haven't stretched that rubber band to snappage. I can still go. So, that's exactly what we want. Ideally, I want quicker, but I don't want to blow up on the race due to that mountain section right at the beginning. So, like I said, there's some questions to kind of fix in with all of that. But, yeah, all in all, a good run. I'm happy with that, and I'll just, fix up the data and see how we are on that. So I'll get back to the car. This is taper time now, yeah? Less than 2 weeks for the actual day. So now I just wrap myself up in clean film. Well, not clean film, that's a bit strange. Cotton wool. Wrap myself up in cotton wool and just, try to get to the line as fresh as possible now, yeah? Don't want any silly little injuries or anything like that. I just look after myself for the 2 weeks and be ready for race day. Yeah, I'll catch you guys when I get home. Okay, so I'm back home, all refreshed, should we say? Yeah, like I said, I obviously had to put the data into Garmin, not Garmin, into ChatGPT. I was pleasantly surprised. And, to be honest, let's just read it out. It's okay. Right, this is exactly the session we needed. I'm going to be very clear and very honest here because this is important heading into taper. And then it kind of goes like what you actually did, and it gives me the rundown, which I'll post here. And that big thing on there you actually see as well is 549 meters of elevation in that run. And I wasn't finished the actual course, remember. There's a bit more of a uphill to go on the last 10k of that run as well. But and obviously he said that I'd finished with energy left. So then he goes on to, the first big misunderstanding important. You said the BPM was too high. So basically, I kind of said I wasn't sure how it was because I thought the BPM was too high. And it just turned around and said, on this course, this elevation plus this duration, no, it wasn't too high. So I think it's kind of allowing for natural drift. And I'm still not kind of wary where all of that should be. So it's something that I still need to learn. And that where I do get hung up on the caps and all that lot. And then can I get my heart rate back down and things like that. So because I could see that in the run, it wasn't really coming back down once I started the main kind of marathon pace effort. And then it kind of goes on to say why your heart rate looks high. And it says you ran 2 full mountain sections of the course, while already fatigued in a 3.5 hour run. That changes everything. Yeah, I guess so, you know what I mean? And so what your body was dealing with, climbing, massive cardiac, climbing using a massive cardiac load, downhill, muscle damage, duration, cardiac drift, second lap was like accumulated fatigue. So your heart rate is supposed to rise. And so this is all from ChatGPT. And the truth, this is a key takeaway. This was not a steady marathon effort test. It wasn't supposed to be a marathon test either. You know what I mean? It was a hilly durability plus race specific stress session. And so let's break your block down. First 90 minutes was obviously the easy part. Average heart rate on that was 146, so I'm quite happy with that, and it says perfect, exactly where we want aerobic control. And then it's 75 minutes marathon pace block. Average heart rate on that was 158, peaks up to 160 on the climbs. On the flat, it's kind of too high, but on this course, that's acceptable. So, ChatGPT had given me kind of a cap of 155 for hills and trying to get me on 152 as we've been working on in the last couple of weeks. But as it sees, it's not viable on this course. And then the final 45 minutes, heart rate still 156. You know what I mean? So it drops down average wise of two beats. But, what can I do? Like I said in my rant last week when I'm to ChatGPT, is like, you can't do a big marathon Pacific section, and then expect your heart rate to go back to normal. It's your body doesn't know that. It just thinks, okay, you're still running, so we need to keep going. So basically it carries on to say from that, this is the big signal. You didn't blow up, you didn't fade, and you held the effort. That's durability. I did say I walked on the hills to control the heart rate, and it's turned around and said, this is the only thing I want to adjust going forward. It says, don't force heart rate control by walking aggressively. Instead, run slower, shorten your stride, accept the heart rate creep. Now, I just didn't want my watch to keep kind of beeping at me all the time, you know what I mean? So that's why I kind of walked, you know what I mean? And it says, because walking breaks your rhythm, spikes the heart rate when restarting, and I kind of did notice that. Doesn't actually fix effort your long term, apparently. Most important insight, you said you finished with energy left, and that tells me everything. You were controlled, not overcooked, still within capacity. So that is perfect. You know what I mean? That's how we've been doing all these long runs. We've been, like I say, stretching that rubber band that Lee Grantham wants to stretch, but we're not snapping it. You know what I mean? And again, I repeat myself, I have not felt broken on any of these long runs where in the past I'm looking at my watch going, are we done yet? You know what I mean? Come on, 2K. Let's get this 2K done and then we're done. I'm not feeling that at all on these runs. So I am in it, you know what I mean? So we are stretching it, but we're not snapping, which is perfect. So then it turned around and said, so what does this mean for your marathon? Your true marathon HR is not 158. And I know that. On race day, it says flatter execution. It will close to be 148, 152. I'm not so sure. I think it's got this thing, and I have mentioned it again later on. I ran the course I'm running on the marathon to give me the data. If it still thinks I can do 148 to 152, we'll see. But I don't think that's quite right, because it's turned around and said, why today looked high? Because terrain inflated heart rate, duration drifted heart rate, fatigue stacked heart rate, not because the effort was wrong. So final verdict, this was a successful session, not perfect but very valuable. You proved you can handle 32 kilometers, you can hold effort late, you don't fall apart on hills, you finish strong. Only correction, stop trying to force heart rate down on the hills. Yeah. See, that's where the frustration is coming from. And I get frustrated on that, and I do, and I've obviously reported that to ChatGPT. So, what I see important, this is the honest coaching bit. You are fitter than your confidence. You are over controlling effort. You're still slightly afraid of overcooking. Yeah. So then it's like, next step, we now go into the taper, and this run becomes your reference, not something to fix. So then it was saying, do I want to have a look at this, that? So I kind of just started running it down into kind of what I wanted to. Because I said I started to run at the start of where the marathon will begin and did the loop 1.5 times. The whole route run was done on the course, so we can use the data for the actual race day. Because I think it might have missed it again that I did the course. So it's saying that my marathon execution might be better and all of that lot. So, like I said before, you've got to really tell ChatGPT stuff like it's a baby, and really cover yourself on what information you want it to know and go through and that. So it turned around and said after that, perfect, this is exactly what we needed. Now we can stop guessing and actually anchor your race strategy to reality, not theory. What this run really gave us. You didn't just do a long run, you did a full course exposure, double mountain stress, fatigue and terrain stacking, warmer race day shoes as well, near race day duration. It's going to be longer than race day, I can tell you that. I'm not where I think it wants me to be at the moment, but maybe that's my confidence. We'll see. I don't know. Like I said, I've not been running on pace, so I don't know. I have to take it with ChatGPT with a bit, but I think I will be running, and I'll go into this more details later on another video. I think I will be running more by heart rate than pace throughout the marathon, and just checking that instead of trying to be fixed on a pace and that. So it's carried on saying, from your data, like it's here, as we've already said, comfortably aerobic on the first part, 90 minutes, mid-phase transition, kind of where the race will start to lock in and all this lot. Marathon block on hill 1 and 2 climbs. This is not a flat marathon. So it allows you that 155 to 162 beats apparently on this now. Key insight, this is gold, the same effort produced, 146 on thing. So it does repeat a lot of stuff as well, ChatGPT, when you kind of punch in a bit more information without giving it more information. It kind of goes back on itself and a bit like that. So it's just kind of seeming one of the most important thing to change. Old thinking, what frustrated me. I need to control heart rate tightly everywhere. New thinking, effort is constant. Heart rate will move with the terrain. So I think, like I've said before, in one run before, I kind of took off the heart rate part and just ran with effort, perceived effort and things like that. And I think that's kind of all what I can do. So, it goes on about hill execution and things like that, just telling me to do it better and all that. Again, it's repeated stuff before, and then basically tells me that if I do this properly, I won't blow up. Again, this race can be done in 5K. The whole race can just be absolutely a nightmare after 5 kilometers when I mess up that first hill. If I mess up that first hill, it's game over. And I've seen that before, and I've done it before. So, obviously now it's done. Really happy with that. Finished peak week. Now, is it peak week? Because I didn't quite go as far on the Wednesday intervals as last Wednesday, but my weekly total was 68.38 kilometers, and last week was 68.95, so pretty much even again. So like I said, it is the peak week, but also last week was a big week, but then there was an extended Wednesday run really, and that. So yeah, what is it now? Taper time. Yeah, long run's done. I will obviously hit mileage next week, but I haven't gone through ChatGPT with that yet. But we'll go through that. But now is the time to freshen up and just be ready for race day. Give myself like a less time taper, really. I mean, 13 days pretty much. Maybe might have miscalculated that. I don't know. 2 weeks, it can be done. I mean, I've done a 2-week taper before. So yeah, I mean, it'd be okay. I'd just be more aggressive on the taper, I guess. You mean, really drop down, and then yeah, the idea is just to wrap up in cotton wool, save myself from injury, and just be ready. You mean, I won't get any fitter before the race. I don't think I'll get any quicker, or I can't get any quicker. I don't think. No, what is done is done now. Basically, all I can do is get on the line, start line, as fresh as I can. 2 weeks time, and we go for it. Simple as that. You know what I mean? So yeah, we'll knock it on the head for this week. Thank you very much. Let's just enjoy taper. For the people that are running London that watch this, obviously you're running the same weekend as me. I hope your tapering's going well. I guess some of you are doing the 3-week taper. So you're well into that taper and that, and just remember that you're going to feel like niggles and aches and pains during this time. It's just what we call paranoia, and that. So it's marathon paranoia. That's all it is. You've been putting in all that hard graft for weeks and months, and now your body's being allowed to kind of heal and refreshen up, and that. So it's going to go, oh, that bit hurts now. That bit hurts. You guys are fine. Trust me. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will sort out obviously the next week's plan and that. Follow me on Instagram to follow how I'm doing my daily sessions on there. Most of the time I've been a bit sloppy on that, a little bit, sorry. But yeah, life is life. We are just doing this to kind of enjoy ourselves, but I have other things to do, and that. So yeah, but it's Neil_a_dad_that_runs on Instagram. Please click like and subscribe to this video, and all these videos, then you know when the next one's coming out. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Cheers. Goodbye.